Tiger fans, we have a rare treat today. Matt and I usually only bring you coverage of Tiger football during the season, but we're here with, I believe, the 11th coach in Rosman High School history, Coach Matt Stack, and got an opportunity to sit down with him on Meet the Coach night and ask a few questions. So we'll jump right into it. Coach Stack, welcome to Rosman.
Glad to be here. Appreciate it. Very excited to get my family up here and join a great community.
Well, let's just jump right into the interview. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, where you're from, etc.
Great. I'm very lucky. I have a beautiful wife, Mrs. Stack. She's probably the only one that can put up with me with the hours and things I do. I have two beautiful children, Matthew Warren Stack Jr. We call him MJ. I'm sure you guys will see him on the sidelines every Friday night running around going crazy. He's about to turn 4 years old. And I also have a new addition to the family, Lucas Paul Stack. We call him Luke. He is 5 months old. So those guys, obviously most important thing in my life. I can't wait till they get up here. Wife and I met in college. She was a soccer player. I was a football player. And, we hit it off right away. And, years later, the good Lord put us together. And now we're coming up to the mountains of Rosman High School.
Well, that leads us into the next question. Tell us about your education, your playing days, and then after that, your assistant coaching experience, and how that's going to help you, how that will help you as a head coach in the past, and how that will help you here.
Big time. I graduated from Clemson University. Had an excellent experience at Tiger Town. I love it, which is another reason, I love seeing Tiger Paws all over the Rosman community. I did a lot of kinesiology, which is study of the muscle movements while in college. I got a sports management degree. I also have a business background with it, and I'm in the process of completing a master's degree, which hopefully get that done in the next 3 to 5 years. Playing days-wise, I graduated from Clemson. As I said, I had an opportunity to play a short amount of time there. Before that, I was at Gardner-Webb University, and that's the school that I met my wife. Had a great career there, loved it, met a lot of great people, had an opportunity to go to Clemson, which was my childhood dream. Went there and don't regret it. It was amazing. Although my playing days got shortened a little bit, the experience is something I'll never forget. Obviously in high school, I played football, played baseball, also played basketball. I was at Northwest Cabarrus High School outside of Charlotte. I played actually baseball and football in college. It was difficult doing two sports, but gave me work ethic that I have now today, and which is the reason I'm here as much as I can be on the weekends until I'm full time. Assistant coaching wise, after college, I ended up going over to Lexington Senior High School for a short amount of time with Chris Deal, who's a big time football coach in the state of North Carolina. From that, I went to West Rowan High School with Scott Young, who's a future Hall of Famer, just fantastic program. Had an opportunity to move down to the coast at Fairmont High School, where I got to finally get my wife into the school system. She became a teacher, and thank the Lord, because now I get to see her. Because, being a head football coach or even a coordinator, as I was for a long time, you spend a lot of time at the field house. After Fairmont High School, had an opportunity that everybody dreams of. Biggest school in North Carolina at Scotland County. Richard Bailey went in there to run his defense for him, and man, it was incredible. Had an unbelievable experience. And finally, the good Lord told me it was time to take over my own program, so I went to Dalton L. McMichael High School, where I just recently resigned, obviously, to take the Rosman job. McMichael will always have a special place in my heart, man. We turned around a program, and they have I'm leaving a program in much better situation than I got it. Those kids will be dear to me. They'll be up here on their bye week watching us, and on our bye week, I'll be down there watching them. Had a great run last year. High Brighton knocked us out of the 3A state playoffs, and as you know, they went to the state semifinals, just about won state championship. Had them beat, matter of fact, in the third quarter, but quite a great job Coach Clay Lewis does at High Brighton. Got a great program, class act guy, and then the good Lord decides it's time for us to come up here and help the Rosman community, and I'm super excited to join the program here, the tradition, and help put this program in the right direction.
Well, that was your first head coaching job at McMichael. What specifically did you learn that will help you here as a head coach?
Relating to different talent levels of kids. The first couple schools I mentioned, Fairmont, Scotland, Lexington, I'm going to tell you, man, you're having 6'2", 200-pound specimens that can fly.
Right.
Division I 5-star athletes across the board. Obviously you're going to have that at McMichael as well. You're going to have a couple here and there. You're going to have some all across the country. That's how that works, but not in the amount of abundance, I guess I would say, that we had at those. So McMichael taught me how to coach each one of those kids specifically, because it's, I hate to say it, a lot of people can go out and coach a whole lot of talent. If you don't have a whole lot of talent, you're going to have to learn how to tweak it and get the best out of that player to make them show their tremendous talent. And at McMichael, I was very blessed. We did have a lot of talent, and I ended up, me and my coaching staff brought the best out of the other kids that were needing it to bring their talent out. A blend of coaching at those different areas. Also at McMichael, I learned a whole lot about community. Big time, we brought community together. We created youth programs, and we created an atmosphere at McMichael that they had never had there. I created the first ever student section, and it brought a big family atmosphere to that school, and I can't wait to install that here, which it already is a great family atmosphere here. So, bringing those things here will be a definite bonus for what I've learned at McMichael.
Well, you sort of answered my next question. Rosman's really a community-oriented town. How do you reach out as a coach to as a new coach coming in, nobody really knows you? How do you reach out and pull that community together and get them here on Friday nights?
Starting out, it's like tonight when we're having our Meet the Community night. I can't wait to share some ideas. I'm going to have a flyer to give out to kind of share with them my visions, my future goals for this program, some things that I would like to see happen, and meet my family and talk about where I've been, what I've done, and then I want to hear about the community, because this has a rich tradition of a football program here. So I can't wait for those guys to tell me all the stories of past here at Rosman. If a community feels like they have their hand in the pot, that's what it's all about. We want this community to feel like they're just as much of a part of it, because that's what we're here. We're here to make the community proud. So when they feel like they have a big hand in what we're doing and trying to help kids get better, that's very important. We got Tuesday night tailgates coming up in August. That's going to be great. We're going to feed the community, and it'll be a time for them to kind of ask me and my staff questions, get injury updates. We'll do that every Tuesday night, and that's going to be really important for that. I'm going to hopefully get a chance, and then once I get full time up here, every few days, either eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or supper with all the community people around here to get to know them. I'm going to go find all the businesses around here, the privately owned ones, and meet with them and tell them how much I want to help support them and give them some Rosman things to put on display. And you got to be all in, as Dabo Sweeney says. So I'm all in for the football program, baseball program, basketball program, and absolutely the community and track and you name it, everything here.
All right, excellent, good answer. I don't want you to give away the playbook, but I want to talk a little X's and O's. Just kind of what offensive sets do you run? What's your general philosophy about offense? And then we'll cover the defense. Number one philosophy of offense is score more points than they do. That's the top priority. I've been blessed, man. I've worked for some of the best coaches in North Carolina history. I have played college football for some of the best coaches in the country. Played high school football for Glenn Padgett and Mike Helms, two more of the best high school football coaches in the state. So I kind of take a blend. You ask some people down in the East, and they say, "Oh yeah, Coach Stack runs a spread system," and then other people say he does, but he's a power run guy. So I've kind of over the years put together a system that I can help dictate the defense where I want them to line up and take advantage of any weakness that we see. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be very similar to what you see Clemson University run. A lot of stuff they just ran a national championship. Matt and I have called that over the years jokingly the spread smash. So that might be
That's a great call. I've never thought about that.
that's kind of what we call it.
I like it.
Well, talk to us a little bit about defense, just in general. I know the object's to hold them to less points than you've scored.
Absolutely, yeah. Number one is do not let them cross the goal line. Very simple. For defensively, I've coached in a state championship running a 3-4 defense. I've also done it in a 4-3 defense. I've seen a 50 front. I've actually used a 35 system before as well. But once we get in here, once I start April 24th, we're going to find what system best fits these kids. I'm going to guess the 4-3 and 4-4 looks for the type of football teams we play against. But it doesn't matter what system we run. Defensively, we're going to be mean, physical, and nasty. We're going to get after it. We're going to attack. And our kids are going to tackle well, and they're going to hit you. We won't be scared of anybody that lines up in front of us, and we will instill fear in anybody we play.
All right. You kind of addressed this a little earlier, but transitioning from a 3A team down to a 1A, what adjustments do you see, for adjusting to less depth on the roster and et cetera?
Man, that's a great question. I love it because of the answer I get to give. I coached in arguably the top 3A conference in the state of North Carolina. Every single Friday night, you're looking at 100 kids nearly on the sideline. My team at McMichael, every Friday night, you're looking at 30 to 40 kids on the sideline. So to answer that question, I got the same amount of depth here as I did at the 3A level.
Okay.
Which is awesome because now I think you might have a little bit more of a level playing field depth-wise because I won't be playing against teams that have 100 kids on the sideline, hopefully. So adjustments to that, I shouldn't have to do a whole lot because numbers-wise, we're going to be pretty close. And the only reason of that, nothing against McMichael. Shoot, that's an unbelievable place, and I'm going to miss it. And whoever gets that job is going to be very lucky. But McMichael is the smallest 3A school in the state. They have 760 kids, and 185 of them are in the early college. So really in the building you got 450 kids, 500 kids. Well, that's not a whole lot more than Rosman has, but yet they're competing against places that have 1,500 to 2,000 kids. So very fortunate that transition should be pretty simple for me.
Let's kind of turn to what your approach is to getting ready. You have about roughly 5 months, give or take a little bit, until the season starts. What are you doing, or what's in place for your team to get ready?
Well, number one, assembling my staff. I'm interviewing a bunch of them today. I've met some unbelievable guys. Very fortunate to come into a situation to have great guys on staff. I should have my staff wrapped up by middle of next week. We'll be clinicking and installing to the staff exactly what we're doing. Ever since I accepted the job officially, the weight room has been running. I've been sending the workouts on a daily basis, and Coach Galloway's doing a great job of getting those things done. April 24th, my first official date. That'll be our first official practice. So we will start spring ball workouts on that date. And obviously starting in April rather than starting in February like I'm accustomed to, your installation period is going to be a little different. So my first 10 days, I'm going to have to do a lot of installing system and then fixing it and making it better throughout the process. Summer ball will start June the 12th all the way through. We have a big team camp that will go to Wingate University on July the 27th. Where basically I put them through boot camp. You're looking at 6 to 8 practices a day, and that's when we come out of Wingate. We should know a great idea of our depth chart going into who's going to make it, who's not, who's going to be our guys that I depend on in the fourth quarter and overtime. And then that'll lead right into August 1st. I have some 7-on-7 set up. I have some scrimmages I'm setting up. I'm trying to find a jamboree locally we can play in, and having the kids see me on a daily basis here in the school and the community, that's part of the buy-in in as well. Once they see how committed and devoted and how much I love them, preparing to win football games takes care of itself.
Couple of standard coaching questions here. What kind of goals will you set for your team this year?
Number one, I expect to play December the 14th in the state championship. And if I ever don't have that reason, it might be time. If that's not my answer, I need to retire.
Okay.
So I plan on winning the state championship every game. Now, number one goal right now is win the opener, period. So East Henderson I've been breaking them down like crazy for the last 2 weeks. But ultimate goal, yes, I plan on winning the state championship, period. But stuff that I'll start posting in the locker rooms, I'll make signs. 3 main goals: win the opener, win conference championships, win state championships. That's why we're here. That's our goal. So, as of right now, today, tomorrow, the next day, next year, 10 years from now, hopefully that'll always be my answer. In my mind, it will be. That's playing a state championship.
All right. What kind of goals you kind of set for your players, individual goals? I know that a lot depends on the depth chart, but, I mean, just in general, what kind of goals do you set for your players on a yearly basis?
Well, number one, I want them to learn to love each other. I want them to learn to be dependent on, because when they graduate from this school and then they go on to college, or they're going to hit the real world, one of these days they're going to have to be dependent on. They're going to have to raise a family. So my main goal for these players is, when this season is over, for them to say, man, I feel like I'm ready for the world. I got to make them good citizens in our society. So to love each other, to understand how it is for responsibility, dedication, commitment, organization, how can I raise a family. And then as far as a football goal for my players, win championships, period. I want them to win championships. That's why we're here. I want to get out there on Friday night, and I don't care if we're playing the New England Patriots or we're playing East Henderson. I expect to win, period.
All right. Last question. Under Coach Matt Stack, what does this program look like 5 years from now?
This program is going to be the place on Friday night that shuts down, and you're going to come watch a state championship caliber football team every single night. And it's going to be done the right way. We're going to be fundamentally sound. Kids are going to be very respectful, done things the right way. You're going to see my kids cleaning up trash. It's going to be, the facilities are going to be the nicest they've ever been. We're going to have everything upkept, well kept, to the highest of all standards. And then, most of all, a family atmosphere. We will have a true family. It'll be myself and my coaching staff, and hopefully, anywhere from 75 to 100 sons on the sideline.
Coach, we appreciate your time, and we just want to do a little shameless plug for ourselves on Tiger Sports WSQL on Twitter, Tiger Sports-WSQL on Facebook. I'm sure before the season starts, we'll be with Coach Stack again and promoting this football team and getting ready for a new season. Coach, appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. Look forward to it.